We start this week off like we have started off so many this year with kickoff play, and we continue to work on our mechanics because these plays are really, really difficult to officiate. We've also got maybe it's a blindside block. Is it defensive pass interference? And we'll take a look at a really tight false start. This and so much more in this week's video training series. Welcome to this year's edition of the NFHS Football Video Training Series. We're studying the National Federation of High School Football Rules and five-man mechanics. This is our video training collection sponsored by the Arkansas Association of High School Officials, the AAHSO, helping good officials get better. Our technical advisor for the rules is George Demetrio. Greg Dowlam is our line of scrimmage technical advisor. Senior technical advisor is Dax Hill. This video is produced by Matt Bivens. Executive producer is Walt Coleman. I'm your host, Todd Allen. I had a question about this play basically in the spot, and let's take a look at the play and see how we do on the spot. And then I think if we look at mechanically how we officiate this play, I think there are some questions that we need to ask. And certainly the spot is one of them, but where the runner is tackled and we declare the dead ball spot, I think is pretty close. You get these within a yard or two, and I think you're all right. Looks like the runner goes down pretty close to the 20-yard line, and we end up with a spot at the 21, so not bad. But could we do better? And we take a look at our mechanics on this play. And I want to point out a couple of things. First of all, with the umpire, I want you to focus on where his head's turned. And notice how he is winding the clock right when the runner starts to advance. So that tells you what? He is looking at the ball. And in the process of looking at the ball, he misses two blocks that he needs to rule on the legality of. And I'm going to say that if we cut someone right here, he is not going to see it. We're going to miss that block. And then also the head linesman, I believe, is only steps back in the play. And that is a problem, too, because I think he's frozen up there and could have slid down a little more. We know from our research that high school football kickoffs normally are going to end inside between the 20 and the 30-yard line. So hung up at the 30, I don't think is the best spot for the head linesman. I think once all this action goes by you, you're better off sliding down like this and officiating the play a little bit better. I think maybe you get a little better spot. But the big problem with this play, and actually we do miss this spot by about 7.5 yards. So let's go down and take a look at this. And this is the head linesman and the referee, because on the mechanic for the referee, I believe that you should follow the runner, you should rule on the clock, and then be looking at the very first block. And let's freeze it right here. Here is the very first block. And we look at this, the defender gets by the blocker, and then there is a shove, and he ends up going right past the ball carrier, and that allows the ball carrier to continue up the field. I think technically this may very well be the head linesman's key just by how the play develops. But the referee, I think you've got a great look at this, and I would expect you to have this. This is a block in the back that we miss. And when a runner coming down the field is moving at full speed, it does not take a whole lot of contact in the back to drive him away and lose control of his body. And you see that he doesn't even make a move. He's not even able, because of the push, to really defend against this runner. And that's what allows this runner to get up the field. So if you come from chase mode, there's no contact. Look at this really carefully. There's really no contact until the defender gets by the blocker, and then all of the contact is in the back. So when a player is in chase mode, and this is not the traditional chase mode that we talk about, but any time that you're not approaching a player from the front or the side, you've got to get some of the contact in the front. And here there is no contact in the front. I don't even believe there's any contact in the side. This is 100%. Not a lot of contact, but contact in the back, and it doesn't take much at this speed. So we do miss that. And I want to come back here and just pick up on the umpire one more time, because I want to watch you. I want you to watch his head as we look at these blocks coming down the field. Look at this block right here, and look at his head. He is officiating this opened area of the field here where there's 4 or 5 players and the ball carrier, and we do not need you looking here. I need you to look at this block, and then here is a second block that I believe the umpire misses ruling on, and they are both legal blocks, so we're okay. But we're okay because we're lucky, not okay because we are mechanically officiating this play correctly. There's a lot of opportunity to take a look at this play and learn and grow as a crew. I would encourage you to study that this week, and who is going to be officiating and who's going to be looking at which player. Work together as a crew in your pregame to make sure you got eyeballs on all 22 players. It's tough to do with only 5 officials, but it's what we got to do on these free kick plays. just looking through our plays to find a good example of bang bang. We got this play in last week, and the ball, his quarterback just dropped straight back, and here I freeze the ball right at the receiver's hands at the 45-yard line, right here. And no early contact. The receiver, the defender, the ball all arrive at the exact same time. This is bang bang. It's even impossible on this play to see any early contact in slow motion. So we would have to guess here if we threw anything, but this is correctly officiated. This is not defensive pass interference. This would fall into the category of bang bang, and what the coach wanted was early contact playing through the back. But you can see when this slow motion replay, that is not there. This is an excellent job by our Carew back judge, head linesman, line judge, of not guessing and anticipating a foul and throwing here on fourth down. Big play in the game. And just a good job by this crew, but I did want to show you this. This is a bang-bang play and not defensive pass interference. Here's an interesting play to take a look at. There's a lot to unpack here. Quarterback gets in trouble. He scrambles out and then hits this slot receiver on a crossing route. Down the field they go. Get all the way down to the about the 17-yard line, and our head linesman quits at the 30, walks back up the field and throws a flag. We never stop the clock. And now we stop the clock and we go to have a meeting with the referee. But I'm going to give you a couple of pointers here before we take a look at the end zone shot. And I'll give you a replay of this as we go. But the inside shot, the end zone shot, tells us a lot. Our head linesman has a little trouble getting his flag out, which goes into where we're keeping our flag. But in a play like this where you have this circumstance happen where you need to get a flag down, the main thing in your mind to remember is to where the flag occurred, where the foul occurred. That's somewhere around the 48, but we get that around the 50-yard line, we're fine. This is a minus 48. But my point being, just throw the flag, continue to officiate. The most important thing to do here is continue to officiate the play. You need to square off at the dead ball spot, kill the clock, and then you need to clean all this action up, which means if you just run down the field, you're having trouble with your flag, keep running, having trouble with your flag, just get it out anywhere. Just throw it out so we know there's a flag on the play, and then continue to officiate. And then it's going to be important that you have in your mind where that flag goes. After you clean all the dead ball action up, then you're going to want to tell the referee, I'm repositioning my flag. You want to hustle. Grab your flag, take it back down to the minus 48-yard line and drop it. That's where you need to have your conference, because we can have the back judge stay on the dead ball spot, the umpire, the referee, and the head linesman can go to the 48. The line judge can begin to move to the 48 if we have a preliminary signal. Everyone's going to know this is on the offense because we're standing back there. If it's a defensive foul, you would want to just stay at the dead ball spot and get the foul reporting going, not go back up the field and reposition your flag, because it's not important if it's a defense, because we can just tack it on. So then you would just tell the referee what the foul was. While the referee is giving the signal, then you would run back upfield, just pick your flag up and put it in your pocket or wherever you store it. But now let's go to this end zone shot, because we're going to see, and what we called here is a blindside block. And there are some indications as this offensive player is running parallel and comes straight down the field as everybody else is going down. So that there are some indications. And it's clear that the defender's looking on the inside. So I can definitely see why we focused on this block. And that's a great job of looking where we need to look. But if you look from this end zone shot, this is what I wanted to show you. The offensive player extends his arm. And this doesn't even look at full speed. But, as I show you this, even at full speed here, it just doesn't look like that forcible contact we're used to seeing, because the offensive player does lead with his hands. So this is not a foul for a blindside block just because you don't have the forcible contact and you do lead with the hands. It's a good play to study and look at, and we might have gotten some help with this. Back judge, I would expect you would have been looking in this area. Umpire, you may have had a chance to help too. So just one of those plays where we need to talk about these before we have these big blindside block fouls. I like that we're looking in the right spot. I like that we're thinking about that. And I never say it's okay to miss a foul, because when you put a foul down that's not there, it's a big problem. But this is a player safety issue, and if we're going to err, we want to err on the side of protecting the players. Here is a false start play that we're going to call, and this is very tight. We'll take a look at a couple of shots of this here, but a couple of things I want to remind you about. First of all, referees, when we do have a play like this and we shut it down, you need to crash in, make sure that you're focused on the players in front of you, not staring out at the line judge for a preliminary signal. There's plenty of time to do that. Wait until you get the colors separated, though, before you do. The end zone shot here just shows that the tight end fires out just a split second before the ball begins to move. This is very, very tight. Be careful of these. You want these types of false starts to really jump out at you. Make sure you're not guessing at these, because some of these athletes are incredibly good and time the snaps so well. So if you're not 100% sure, be sure to stay away from these. But this is a false start for the tight end, correctly officiated here by the line judge. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. Sorry this video was out late this week. Still dealing with some of the transitions of moving to a new studio, a new location, new job, everything like that. So I appreciate your patience. Got a lot of great emails this past week. I appreciate all the comments and emails that you've sent in. If you would like to send me an email, here is my email address. It's toddallen65@gmail.com. For the Arkansas Association of High School Officials, this is Todd Allen saying I hope to see you on the field real soon.